I gave myself an afternoon to build a complete luxury ad campaign. The challenge, I needed consistency in the feel of the campaign. Plus, I wanted to make creative imagery that could work across all deliverables. Think photo shoots, video ads, static ads, the whole thing. And we're gonna do this with no camera, no studio, and no design team. If you're making content for a brand right now, you already know the squeeze. Tighter deadlines on every launch, smaller budgets for every shoot, smaller teams, and at the same time, the demand for content keeps growing. The algorithms feel hungrier than ever before, and you're the one under pressure to keep feeding them. Now, as you know, most of these AI tools are gonna generate 10 images that look completely different. But this tool that we're gonna discuss today is gonna change the way you think about campaigns forever. Take a look at what it produced. This is production ready, premium, consistent visuals across every asset. Here is the exact step-by-step path that got me this result. And there's a step that most brands skip that ruins their results. And a quick note, if you need any of the resources that I cover in today's video, check out the first links down below in the description. Now, let's start with what I call the 3 S's: setup, style, and scale. If you are trying to have AI create a campaign across dozens of visual assets, you need to make sure you pay attention to all 3 of these. Most people skip straight to scale. They open an AI tool, they prompt it, and hope it works. And then they say, AI can't really do brand work the way we need. And this is the same process you would do if you were doing a real photo shoot. You would start with a system, organized assets, a defined style, and then production becomes fast and reliable. And that's exactly how Riverflow is built, and why I'm gonna call it a creative production system and not an image generator. There's a huge difference between both of those. And part of what makes this possible is what is running under the hood. Riverflow 2.5 Pro just ranked as the #1 image model in the world on Design Arena. Get this, it's beating GPT Image 2, Gemini, all of them. This is kinda insane if you think about it. Getting to the top of these leaderboards with frontier models is genuinely hard. What Riverflow has done is take that model and squeeze everything out of it specifically for consumer brands. And that's exactly what allows you to get the consistency you're about to see. So let's get started with the first step of our process, which is setup. Often this is the most unglamorous part, but stick with me because this part determines everything else. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is get your brand into Riverflow, and there are 2 ways to do this. The first way, as you see on my screen, is you just drop in your URL and click Analyze Your Brand. Immediately, it will pull your logos, it'll pull your fonts, your colors, your core values as well, and your products. Whether you have 1 product or 1,000, you could come in here and adjust and edit everything you want, but it will pull this automatically. Or if you like, you can put all of this information in manually. You can input your brand style, your values, upload your logos, your fonts, your colors. Either way, you end up with your real brand living inside the tool. And this is gonna be really important because this is gonna be part of the foundation. Now, for most brands watching, you adding your URL and having all your products added is gonna save you hours of time. And when you see what you're about to generate, honestly, it's the most surprisingly delightful experience I've had with a creative production tool like this. And one note that will make this entire experience better, it's not necessary, but it definitely helps, is you ideally want to make sure that every single product you have has an image with a clean white backdrop that is well lit. Because Riverflow is gonna take these exact products and drop them into scenes. And if you feed it a messy photo, you may get a messy result. Now, this leads us to number 2, style. Here, we're gonna answer the question that we started with. What type of campaign do you wanna produce? Instead of prompting and hoping it works out, Riverflow lets you create a style. as you can see on our styles rules page here, there are public styles, and these are preset that you can use and leverage for your brand. But today we're gonna build our own style for our own campaign. And you can do this by clicking on your style and then click create new. From here, you could describe what you want, or you could upload reference images. Let me give you a rundown of how we're gonna do this. I built a mood board for the look and feel of this campaign, and I'm gonna call it Summer Orange. As you can see, I just grabbed a few images that are gonna help us pick the right product shots as well as colors. Now, you don't have to be as organized or put together a mood board like this. You could upload up to 5 images, and this is gonna really help set the style of every generated asset. Now, our primary color is this orange, and our accent color is going to be this darker orange. Great, now we have everything we need, and we're gonna click generate. Beautiful, now we have Summer Orange generated, and this is gonna lead us to our third step, scale. Once setup is done, style is locked, now the fun part. First, let's do a photo shoot. I'll go back to my home here, and then I'm just gonna click on new photo shoot. Now, we're just gonna click on photo shoot at the top here. First, let's start with a scene. So I'll click here, and you'll see there are a ton of pre-built, beautiful scenes that we can choose from. In our case, something like this can be really good. Also something like this, and also this. Now, if you have a specific scene you like, but you want to see more options, you could click see more, and additional options will show up here on the right. But in this case, I'm going to go back and I'm going to select this scene here. Now, I'm going to select products. Now, whether you had one or hundreds load into your account, they're all gonna show up here. We're gonna click on one bottle and start with that. From here, you could add in additional products. From here, you could also add in a character, you could add in a reference, but what we're gonna do is add our style. And if you remember, this is the one we built, so we'll select that. Now, down here, you could refine the options more, but for now, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So it has our product, it has our style, and it has a scene. Let's see what it can come up with. I'm gonna click on generate, but right before I generate, I do wanna show you these two buttons here. If you click here, you could adjust the size to your liking. In this case, I'm gonna keep it 1 by 1, and you could also select the number you want it to generate. In this case, I am gonna select 4, and let's see it get to work. Now, at the top of my screen here, you see it beginning to generate these images for us. Now, let's take a look at what it generated. This just took a few moments, and these top 4 images are based on our product, our style, and our scene. Let's take a look here. First and foremost, our bottle is perfect. There's no issues, there's no weird AI slop. And if you notice, it even added moisture to the bottle. Next, let's take a look at this one. The bottle is now being held, and you even notice the slightest detail of the person's fingers wrapping around the bottle right here. And let's say you really love this image, but you do want to adjust it, whether it's the size or refine it. You could do all of it inside this panel. What I love about this, it's the same lighting, the same mood, the same palette. They all look like they're from one shoot and one set. Because as far as the tool is concerned, they were. The style was already set. Now, I want to show you something. I just generated an additional 3 images with a different scene. Same product, same style, but the scene, as you can see here, is a lot lighter. Look at what it created. If you take a look at these 3, they're beautiful and they're within the same style as if they had the same creative director and direction. And they all look like they're from one shoot. Now, here's the thing. AI has always been great at getting you started, maybe generating a few ideas and giving you a starting point fast. But the hard part has always been the finessing. Taking that first rough output and getting it into something you'd actually post. And that is the gap that most tools leave you in. But Riverflow also closes that gap as well. So from any image, you can go in and further refine it. You could change the aspect ratio, generate different angles. You can also swap out products, which is really cool. And if you need to fix product details, it's really easy to do that as well. Then, once we love an image, we can use it for any campaign. Inside Riverflow, you could also create static ads. Same images, headlines, and offer copy laid on top. So I'll add in a template and I've already selected this one here. From there, I will add in a product image. As you can see, this is one that we just generated. Then I could add in our logo. And then from there, we could add in our custom fonts as well, or other fonts if we just want to choose a different font. In this case, we'll select that. I'll hit apply. And then from there, we could select colors as well, and then update the copy. Now, let's take a look at this. First of all, it followed our instructions perfectly. It kept the quality of the image as well as added in the text that we used. And just like that, we were able to create a static ad. From there, we have even more options. We could also turn an image we love into a video ad with motion, text overlay that will be ready for Meta and TikTok. Now, let's try something else. Let's generate a video based on this image here. First thing I'll do is click on generate video at the top here. And then we have a few options. We could add in motion. And so you see there are different options here to choose from. And then from there, you could select the type of model that you want to use. You could select the size, and you could also select the frames per second. If you want to further develop the idea, you could do that as well here. Now, I just asked it to bring the glass in and then start to spin the cup from the stem. I then clicked enhance prompt and it generated this full prompt here. And now we can generate the video. Now, let's take a look at this video together. Now, as you can see, this is insane. It kept the scene. It has this slow zoom in. And so if we want to overlay it with text or drop it into a longer video or use it as is, there's a lot of options. And you can batch create. Here on the photo shoots page, I'm going to click on batch. Here, I'm going to click on our product and use this specific product. I'm going to keep the aspect ratio the same, the model the same, and then the style, I'm going to select the style that we built. I'm going to leave character and I'm going to leave references. But here you could then click add scene and then you could add in multiple scenes. So in this case, I could select this scene here, as well as this scene here, and finally this. Then once I've added those, I can go even further in customization. As you can see, for every scene, you have every option that you're gonna want. And probably the most important is the number of generations you want it to create. So we'll do 2 here, and then we'll do an additional 2 here. And then we're gonna do 4 here. And finally, we're gonna do 2 here. Now we're generating a total of 10 images in one go. And this means in an afternoon, you could build out a full campaign from your computer the same way I'm doing in this video right now. And there's also an additional way that you could batch content. Click here on the left-hand sidebar, and then you click choose an action. Take a look at all of these options. Changing the background color, setting a background color, translating ads to different languages, changing the camera angle, also a freestyle prompt, which is nice. You could recolor, you could clean up a product, change aspect ratio, and a lot more. In this case, I'm gonna change the angle, then I'm gonna select a starting image, and I'll go to our recent photo shoot, and I'm gonna select this image here. From here, you could select how many outputs you want. So if you want one or if you want multiple, and then what you want for each of those. So in this case, if the first output, the aspect ratio is just auto, and what specific camera angle I want for this one, and then for the next one, and then the third, and you could also name it, which is a nice touch. From there, you could click preview, and when you're ready to go, you could approve and submit this order. Normally, this process would be tens of thousands of dollars. Studios, photographers, props, models. Now, here's the final campaign. We got 10 keepers in less than an hour. Look at it as a set. You feel it. It's cohesive, premium, unmistakably one brand. If you told me an agency had made this, I'd believe you. And as you saw, this just took an afternoon. And most of that was just me being picky, which with Riverflow, you're allowed to be picky. So who is this for? If you're an e-commerce brand, a D2C founder, an agency managing client creative, honestly, anyone whose ad performance depends on volume and consistency of ad creative, this is built for you. Over 5,000 creative teams are already using it. If you got value from today's video and you want more like this, subscribe. And hey, if you watched to the end, I would love to hear how you're using Riverflow in your business in the comments down below. And if you have any questions, drop them down there as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.